This conference will now be recorded.
Good morning, everyone. Let's get started with today's session. I'm sharing my screen. Can someone confirm if you're able to see it?
Yes, it's
Can I
visible.
get? Okay, thank you. There was a system which was restarting in the app, so that's where it got delayed. But I hope now everyone has joined the session, and we can get started, continue with TOSCA demo part. So in yesterday's session, we had seen some introduction and basic things about TOSCA. So why TOSCA, why Selenium, and then we had this clear understanding, I hope. So any questions or doubts from anyone on this part before I move on with some practical session on TOSCA? Any questions or doubts someone wants to ask on anything that we discussed yesterday? I hope it was clear.
Yeah, can you tell me which framework are we going to use in Tosca? Any particular
So in TOSCA,
framework?
it's just nothing much. Like, it's just, you can say TOSCA is a model-based test automation, wherein here we would just be concentrating much on kind of foldering structure, is what you can say. There's nothing data-driven or keyword-driven kind of framework or something like that. But here, in general, you just have to uh, structure your folder, your project, your workspace in a way how you would structure the folders. So that I would show you as and when we are working on some of the components of Tosca, so you would understand much better. But in general, Tosca is a modular driven framework, wherein it's nothing like what do you say, the data driven framework or some kind of framework we would use. Is it clear?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, Fayaz, what's your doubt question? You have raised your
Uh,
hand.
Hi, Pawan. Actually, yesterday I missed the class.
Hmm.
Okay, I gone through the demo. It's
Right,
fine. Um, Actually, you have mentioned like regression testing. I mean, you know what is
hmm,
regression testing?
right. So in regression testing, generally, if you would see, we would have some set of test cases or some scenarios that we would want to test, and that scenarios repeatedly again and again for each and every build or for each and every feature changes. What one would do, we would want this set of things to be retested again and again. We want this particular thing to be tested again and again. So some set of scenarios where you would want it to be tested again and again, multiple times, not just once but multiple times. And that multiple times, it's just whenever there is some change in the application is being built, then you would see some regression cases, some regression scenarios, and that regression scenarios especially we can target as our automation script what we can create.
And actually, I am from a non-technical background. Okay, yesterday I missed the class, so I cannot introduce. I am Fayaz.
Hmm.
Actually, I am from a mechanical engineering background.
Hmm.
Um, Currently, I was asking my friends to go to the technical IT technical, so they have suggested to for me to choose automation testing and the Tosca also. So it is very easy to learn, kind of, because no coding knowledge is required.
Correct.
Uh, 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 I gone through your demo. You were explaining
Yes.
good, but some uh, even after this session also, I want before you start, when you are explaining something, uh, you have to think about me, like how the non-technical guys will understand. Like
Yeah. So here
just
majorly my uh, training, whatever I would be giving all this session, if you would see, it's mostly on on this part thinking, wherein a user or whoever has joined, they don't have any prior knowledge on anything, and keeping that in my mind, I'm just giving this session. So yeah, you don't worry on that part. So anything which I keep on a particular day, any session that I would conduct. So after that, if you feel like okay, you are not able to understand something, or if you need some further clarification, you can note down that part, and then we could discuss the same, maybe the clarification for that in the next session before we start the next session. So it's not only helpful to you, but to even to others, wherein if they had or they need some clarity or any of the topic which I had already explained, and if that clarity is not there, or if that information was not provided, or furthermore elaboration was required, then we can even take that and do it, follow this approach. And any doubts, questions, if we have, just before we start the next session, we can just take it, or at the end of the session as well, we can take that.
Sure. Thank you.
With this, let us just start with today's session, where I want to show you Tosca demo on practical part. So what we will do, so we would have a Tosca, assuming for now your Tosca is downloaded. The Tosca commander is downloaded and installed in your machine, right? Once you have that, what we would do as from scratch. So what we would do, what all things that in detail again, probably by after once we complete this free demo sessions, I would be explaining in detail again from scratch, saying okay, what is this Tosca commander, how we can get this Tosca commander, and once we get that, what is this workspace, how to create the workspace, and after that, what are all these things, whatever I'm taking sections, all this, anything. Yeah, for now, you might be confused with, or you don't understand, which is still okay. So today I'll just show you, if assuming you have Tosca commander downloaded, installed, and you have this view in your screen. So what you would have to do next, if you would want to automate, let's say you would want to automate, so what scenario or what particular thing you might want to automate. So what we will do here is, we'll just try to open some website. So I would want each one of you to just come to this demo webshop.tricentist.com, this page, and then click on this register button, and here just register your details, all your details, your email id and the password, confirm password, and register it. Once you register, just click on login, and you should be able to log in with the details whatever you have given. So here I'll just give couple of minutes for each one of you. Could you just go through this uh, website, go to this link and register yourself. I'll just share this link in the chat as well. So Abhijit, full screen or Zoom? I hope you are able to see my screen completely. Is it
Yes,
like
I
for
can.
us?
Yeah.
It's visible, right? Properly?
Yes.
Yeah. So if I'll give some couple of minutes for each one of you, could you just go to this link and register yourself, giving your details, and then your email ID and the password, confirm password, whatever you want to set, and register. Once you do that, so we would get this login page, assuming you would get this login page. Once it is done, we could just confirm in the chat so that I would know, and most of you, if you have done, we could just proceed further. We'll just give a couple of minutes time.
Hi Pawan, this is Sirisha.
Yes,
Are you able to hear my voice?
yes, I can hear you.
Yeah,
Can
actually, I
you
have
hear me?
a couple of questions.
Yeah,
Are
yes,
you
Siri.
going to, as part of the curriculum, so are you going to cover the mobile application test scripts also?
So as part of training session, we are just going to cover uh, So these things, a web-based application, web testing, API testing, and database testing.
So why I'm
If you
asking is like nowadays everyone is using mobile applications only, right? So like if we take banking domain, so most of the people using mobile applications, or most of the banks are using mobile applications, so they are in demand. That's why.
Yeah, so yes, Tosca would help to automate a mobile-based application, but again, there are some, what do you say, some restrictions, or currently we don't cover that in as part of our training session here for the mobile-based testing. But so again, even if we are testing that, so the only difference that you would see is how would you connect your mobile or any cloud-based mobile application, and after that, so once the connection is established, whatever things we would be doing in mobile as part of mobile, 90% of the things that would be similar to what we would learn in web-based testing when we do, or any other thing. So it's almost similar. So based on that, only few things one would have to know if they are probably testing other than web, if they are doing API or database or SAP testing or mobile based testing. So it's just few, but the topics or the concepts that would be involved in that would be same across all of this. So we don't have that again, connecting the mobile or testing that application. So that we don't have currently, that infrastructure or whatever I would say. So we generally focus on this part as of now, Sirisha.
At the end of the course, is it possible if you have time only? So can you teach how to automate mobile applications, just one or two end-to-end scripts?
So I would say that currently in my current project, yes, so we are also doing mobile automation. We just started with that, and yes, we are doing it. But again, just to showcase that in the training session, as part of training session, currently I would have to see some infrastructure, some things. So I would have to just connect and see if that thing works. So. I cannot guarantee, to be frank, about the mobile testing as of now. But if I found something, some related information which one would need to, I would have tried to share that, and yeah, you can go through if you would want.
Okay, and as part of this one certifications, this knowledge is enough, or you are going to share any other advanced
No,
topics?
so this all this whatever I would be giving training. So with that training part, all the six certifications or things, whatever we discussed here. So all these things would be enough, and we should be able to do this TOSCA certification, product consultant. For all these things, once it is completed, you will be eligible for this, and yeah, the training required or to complete this certification, whatever knowledge or information is required, I would be going to cover that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Can I get a confirmation if everyone has registered? Apeksha has registered. What about others? You have registered to this, given your details, and you are able to now log in. Can you just confirm that? Done. Done. Okay. Okay then. So I say, so everyone would be able to register this, and then if you would give your login credentials into this, you would be able to log in. Click on this OK button, and you are able to log in, right? So what we will try to do is, as part of our testing scenario, let us just try to take this uh, application. So I will what we would do is, our scenario that we want to test is, let's say we want to test the login functionality of this application. So if I want to test the login functionality of this application, can someone say what could be the steps involved in it to test, which is our test case name? Test case name. I want to test the login functionality of demo web shop, let's say. So I want to, or test case or scenario that I want to test is login functionality of demo web shop. And for that, what are the steps that are involved to test in this? So can someone say what is the first step that we would do to test this part? What is the first step that one would have to do?
Go to the
Login button.
URL, launch first.
So opening the browser and launching of the
Yeah,
URL, right? So
yes, yes.
open browser and launch application is what can we say that. So what application you would want? So the application URL that we would give this. So I'll even give this URL here, right? So this is the URL that on this particular URL you want to test the login functionality of that application. And for that, the first step would be to open browser and launch the application, right? So this is how you would open it. So once you open the browser and launch this application, what is the next thing or a next step that you might want to do on this page? What you would be doing? Anyone?
Credentials.
We can check whether that screen is visible or not. I mean, whatever.
Yes. So visible
And next
validation part,
ID
yes.
and password.
Validation part, yes, that we can do. But here on this screen, if I want to test the login functionality, what is the next step I should do? What is the next action I should do on this page?
Click on login.
Click on the login link that you see on the page. So here we don't have any option to enter directly username or password. To get that, first you have to do something else. So that something else is nothing but from this page, navigate to the login page. So to navigate to the login page, you have to click on this link, login link that you see. So the same thing we would say in the step as well. Click on login link on this page. So we'll just come here, click on this. So after clicking, what is the next action you would be doing to test the login functionality?
Enter
What is
the
the next?
valid email password.
Correct. Enter the email over here, we'll say, right? So same thing here, we will say. So third step would be, let me just get this. So here, first step, second step, after that third step is to enter email ID is what you would want to do. After you enter email ID, what is the next thing you would do?
Login button.
After entering email ID, you would
Password.
enter
You have to enter
password. So
password.
here you will say enter password. So email ID is entered, and whatever email ID, you can give any email ID. So I'll just give this email ID, and then the password, you can give any password. So I'll give this password, and then uh, after entering this details, what is the next action that I would be doing after entering this?
Click on login button.
Click on login button. So here we will say click on login button. So we would do that. After clicking on login button, the last step that I would want to do is after clicking on this login button, right, I would want to just say close this. So close this browser. So I'll say close browser or the tab. What is the tab? Here we can say the demo web shop applications or demo web shop something, right? That tab is what I just want to close, is what we'll say. So to test the login functionality of this application, the manual steps or the steps in general that are involved are all this. So if you would test this, then we can say we have tested the login functionality. So this is one of the scenario wherein, okay, you would enter the details, sometimes let's say valids and invalid. There could be different scenarios where if you are giving any wrong credentials, you might see some wrong error messages that has to be displayed. So those checks we would do it. But for now, for this demo, I would just take a simple scenario where you would just come to this screen, launch this application, click on the login link, entering this email ID, password, clicking on login button, and then closing it. So any doubts or questions on this part? Like what scenario we are testing and this? What are the steps? How did we got these steps? Or any questions? Is it clear? Can I get a confirmation so that I can move ahead?
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay. So then I would just we'll just move further here in this then. So now we know what test case we have to automate and what are the steps that are involved in automation. So now same manual thing, whatever we tried doing it, right? The same thing, what we will try to do is we will automate that from TOSCA. So you go back to TOSCA, open your TOSCA commander, come to this place. So what is this folder and all? As I said, I would explain that in detail later on. But for now, I just want to create test case. So I will have this test case folder, a section. So test case folder. And then I also need something called modules because it's a model based framework where we would have to create modules. So why we do that in detail from very scratch, I would explain it later. Now, so our goal or intention here is to create this automation test case, right? So you go to the test case section, right click on that, and then you get an option called create test case. So here I would create a test case as whatever the test case name that I want. So what is our test case name? What is our test case name?
Login.
Anyone?
Yeah, login the URL.
Login functionality of this demo application. So I'll copy this same test case name, whatever we have got the information or we received. So that information, same thing in TOSCA as well, we will try to do that. So we will remove this and we will give the same name, whatever we see over there. So this is our test case that we want. And before this test case, so what I'll do is I'll create one folder. Why folder? Because I'm just showing it for demo purpose. So I will I'll create one folder, and under that folder I'll create this test case. So that is what I would be doing here. I have created a test case now. So what does in general what a test case would consist of?
Test steps.
Test steps. So here now we have to build our test steps. So how to build test steps and what are the steps that we want to build? So step by step we'll see. So what is the first step that we want to build as part of this test case? What is the first step you would want to build?
Open a browser and then launch the app.
Opening browser and launching the application. So in TOSCA, how we can open the browser and launch an application? So that if you want to know, here just go to this test case, right click on this test case, click on the search and add test step, and into this search field you search for something called open. So you want to open the browser, right, and launch that application. So you search for open URL. So what is this open URL? Why are we only searching for open URL? What are the modules or what are the standard modules? All those again in one day we won't be able to cover all these things. So step by step in detail I would be uh, covering it up as part of our training session. Okay, for now just assume, okay, you have to go to the test case, right click, search and add test step, and then from this search you just search for a module name called open URL, and once you search that, just select it so that you would see whatever step you asked for, that step is coming in the test case. So unnecessary step if you don't want, we'll delete, and then this step I want. So in this step what do we have? So we have here, we just have to specify what is the URL which you want to open. So what is the URL that we want to open? This URL, right? So we will copy this, Control C, and then come to this open URL module, this step. Under that you have this URL name, right? For this URL you see this value section, value column. Here in this box we would be entering, so whatever URL you want. So I'll say https:// I want to open google.com. So I'll say www.google.com. google.com. So I will type that whatever URL if I want to open, I will just give that. So once I give this, so if I want to see if Tosca is able to open the browser and launch this URL whatever we gave, is it performing or not, we can just select this, right click, and then run in Scratchbook. So once we do this run in Scratchbook, you see what would happen in your system. So a google.com is being opened, and it is opened in which browser? In which browser is it opened? Are we able to follow? In which browser does Tosca opened this google.com?
Chrome.
Chrome browser. So now someone could question why Chrome, or how did Tosca just opened Chrome browser? Did we specify anywhere here Chrome to be opened?
No,
No,
no.
but still Tosca is opening Chrome browser. So the next
It
question
is
that would
system
arise,
default.
sorry,
Is your system set as a default
right? So
browser?
all these things, yes. So here, when you would use this module and when you try to launch this application, Tosca has automatically identified a default browser what is there in your system, and based on that default browser, it is trying to open the application that you want. So the next thing that you would say, okay, uh, I don't want to open the browser, a default browser. I would want my own browser to be opened. Then how to do that? So to do that, go to your test case. So we have something called test configuration. Again, don't worry, what is this test configuration? Why are we doing this? For now, just for demo purpose, just try to understand this, but later as part of topic understanding, I would explain in detail about this. So here I would be creating one test configuration parameter. The parameter name would be browser, and why we are creating this browser only, all that I would explain later part of the session. So in the browser, in the value section, here we have to give which browser do you want. You want Edge, Chrome, Firefox, or from this drop down you can see Chrome, Firefox, Edge, Internet Explorer, Safari, anything. So you could select any of this, and Tosca would try to open that browser if it is downloaded and installed in your machine. So in my machine, I'll say Chrome is there, it is downloaded and installed, so you can take Chrome. Or I'll say okay, Edge, I'll select this Edge, and then once I say this Edge, now when I would execute this step, so what should happen as per our requirement?
It URL should be open in the Edge browser.
URL should open in the Edge. Now you see new URL, Edge browser has been opened, and in that whatever URL we gave is opened here. So it is doing into that browser because of this configuration that we have set. So here, instead of this, if I would say now Chrome, and if I would run this, so the application, this URL whatever we want, that URL would be opened into the browser what we have specified. So here, now this step, what are we doing in this step? In this first step, what are we doing?
We are launching the opening the browser and launching the URL.
Opening the browser and launching the application. So the same step we are doing it. So I'll copy this, and here with this step you won't be able to open URL. For you it would might be clear, but for someone else who is new here won't be able to know what are we doing in this step. So for that we would have to rename the steps as well as per the understanding. So here for this step we would say okay, instead of renaming or understanding, for this we will rename it to something that one can understand. So here I will rename it to this part. So I'll say open browser and launch the application. So which application? The demo web shop application. You can even say launch demo web shop application. That is what we would be doing over here in this screen. So first step is done now. So with this first step, if you would now run or execute your test case, so how to execute? You can select the test step, right click on that and select run in Scratchbook. so that TOSCA would open this window and then it tries to execute whatever steps we have written. So here we just written one step, which is to open demo webshop application, and it is now able to do it with the help of some module, right? That we have done successfully. After this, what is our next step that we want to do on this page?
Click on login link.
Click on login link. So the action that we want to do, this is now login link, right? And then so if I want to open google.com, so I would open browser and then just say google.com. So for that or open URL or this part, whatever we are doing, this is some generic, but then clicking on login link, what do you think? This action, whatever we are doing, is it application specific or generic to other projects also it could be applicable? What do you think in general? Clicking on this login link, or let's say you are clicked and then entering the first name here, entering the last name here, or password, confirm password. So this interaction, whatever you are doing, so this, is it generic action or application based action?
It is application based.
Application based action. So now when you would have something which is application based, so from TOSCA, if you want to interact with that a part, so then you would have to go to the modules, scan that as a module. So right click, go to scan application, and then say which application do you want to interact with TOSCA, is what you are just trying to open this XScan. And then what is this XScan? Why are we doing? Again, in further detailed way, I would be explaining it later. For now, quickly to show the demo part and automate that test case, I'm just trying to cover it up. So here I will select this application. So XScan, TOSCA would give us all the properties, all the elements of this page. It would scan, and I'll click on this something called condense. Why I'm clicking and all, why I'm just selecting in this. For now, you can just uh, understand whatever you are, but later in detail we would understand it. So here I'm just considering I want a login or register link from this page. Other than that, I won't be interacting or doing anything much on this page. So I would be just selecting this, and then I'll just say here, if I would highlight on this login link, it highlights that login link. If I would select this register, it would highlight on this register, so that we can say, okay, the mapping or the link is correct, and this is what I would want to consider. I'll click on this save button, and then module saved successfully message is what you would get, and close. So once you do that, you would see in the modules, whatever you just now tried scanning, TOSCA has got that as a module, and the elements of the page has also been stored in this module. So module attributes is what you have got. So if you would see this image, so you can see the screenshot of this part, the application, right? So this application, how it was, and then what you have taken, you can see regarding that module. So once we have this module, so we can rename this module again as per our understanding, and then I will say this is demo web shop and initial page or home page. I can rename it to anything as per my understanding. So I'll say, okay, this is my initial page or home page of the demo web shop application. So I will rename it to that way. And now I have got this things. Okay. So go back to your test case. So first test case is already done. So second step, if we want, so when you right click on test case, you don't have anywhere an option to create test step. If you would go to test case, right click, you would get option to create test case, but within test case you won't have option to create test steps. So since you don't have option to create test step, here what you would have to do, you could just right click on the test case, and then you have option called search and add test step. So you can add the test step, but you cannot create. So what test step you can add? So here basically you can search for the modules whatever you would want, and we know I have created just now a module with the name demo web shop log initial login. So I can search for that module over here. So here come to this and I can say INITIAL initial page. So when I would search this for initial page, you see you would get that module, and if you click that module, so now you got that step in the test case. In this particular test case, you have got this step, and this step has whatever that module consists of. You see this module, whatever it consists of, the same thing is present in the step. So in this step, what you want to do as part of your second step, what you want to do?
Click on the login link.
Click on the login link. So here in this step, where do we see login link? We have login link in here. So for this name, login link, under the value section, you have to, what action you have to perform here?
Click.
What action on the page
Click.
we would be performing? Click. So in the value section, for that particular element, we would say click. So how to say click? Just open this and then you have this drop down, say click. Whether you want right click or click, I would say I want to click on this thing. So I'll write that step only. I'll just select this. I'll say click. So here again, are we able to, or someone else would be able to know what are we trying to do in this step with this name? Is it understandable or readable? Is it?
No.
Since it is not, then we will try to rename it.
Rename.
So as per our requirement, and then we'll say, okay, the first step is this. The second step is click on login link. I'll say click on login link. You can rename it that way. So first step and second step is done. So after that, what is the next step? So we would just click on this. Assume we have clicked. After that, what is the next action on the page? What we have to do?
Enter the email and password.
Entering email. So this entering of the email, that action, whatever we want, that action is specific to the application. So if it is specific to the application, what we have to do? Scan a module. So go back to the module again, right click on the module, select this scan and say application. And once you select this, so you would get some window. So TOSCA would open Xscan window and then it would show you what all applications are opened in your system. From all this, which particular application do you want to interact with? I want to interact with this application. So I'll select that application and click on this scan. So once I click on this, so this Xscan would give me all these details. So from here, what I would do is I would click on condense and select the things that I want, or select on screen is what I see this option. Once I click that, when I move my mouse onto this element, you see TOSCA is now recognizing or able to identify all these elements. Now from this, on this page, what do you want to do? What are we going to interact with? With email text box. So move your mouse to that email thing. So should I just move my mouse here and then select this?
No.
Because we are not interacting with this email label. We want to interact with the text field. So just move your mouse to that text field and select this text field. So as soon as you select this text field, under that this element would be added. So whatever you have selected, that has been added. See, now same way, do we just need email ID from this page, or we need any further actions as part of our testing? We would need something else. So what is that we would need after email? After interaction with the email, what do we need?
Have to enter the input field and the
password field for this as well. So we would come here and select this password. And then after this, so we need only these two things as part of our testing.
Login button is also there.
Login button as well. So this button as well we need. So we will come here and select this as well. So now as part of our testing, I would need these three elements on the page, and I'm fine with this. And now I will say, okay, just I'm done with this, and I will just click blindly, just click on this save button. So a module save message would appear on the page, and then I'll close this. Here on this page, I have selected or I've basically tried creating the element or the module, and the element is there. And then you can see the screenshot. So you have see login screenshot, login page screenshot, and the elements whatever you wanted has been taken. So once we have this, what do we do? So here in modules, again, I don't want this modules multiple ways like that it to be created. I would want to restructure. So someone was questioning about what framework do we follow here. So here we just have to create some folders. So here in the modules, instead of right click, scan all the modules at one place, and then hundreds of pages we might get, hundreds of modules we might get. So all these things we keeping everything at one place won't give us better understanding, or not only to us but for others. It won't have clear picture or clear understanding of things, right? So when we don't have that, here what we would do, we'll just try to create some folders. So right click, create folder. So what folder name is what do we want to give? I'll say this is for demo purpose, I'm creating the modules. So I would create a demo folder, and all these modules whatever I'm creating, as part of that I want to arrange it in this folder only. So I will drag and drop and move that into this folder. So I will do it this way. I'll just create, and this module, this folder would have the modules. And now here go to your test case. So first step is clear, second step is clear. So third step, what are we trying to do? Third step, what is our third step?
Giving a email ID and password.
Entering the email ID is our third step. So how we can enter that email ID? Anyone? How we can enter that email ID?
Okay, we can view that in value section, value field.
Use the module first. So where is that email ID present from in your space, in your workspace? Where is that email ID thing present? So that email
That
ID thing is
module.
present in this module. We know that is present in this module. In this module, there is this feed. So I need this module basically. So how to consider this module? So you can right click on test case and you can search with this name, or instead of this name, as I said, you can give this name. So here I will say this is login demo web shop page. Can we say this? As per our understanding, we can even do this, right? So we can rename that. And once we have that, so in my test case, if I want that module, what to do? What did we do just now recently?
Right click and
Add module.
So right click on the test case, and then we get an option called search and add test step, or shortcut
and
control T.
search
If you
with
click
name.
this and then search with the name, what name do we have to search here?
Login demo web shop.
Login demo web shop. So here we search and then we get this module. So select this module. So as soon as you select that module, a step has been created, and this step has the element whatever is present in this module. So we are able to see that. So from this, in this step, what do we want to do?
To
What we
add the
want to do?
values.
Add the
Enter,
values,
yeah.
enter the email ID, and email ID we want to enter is this. So I will copy this and then come to this email field. Against this email field, in the value section, I will try to, I can enter any value here, just key press anything, so that that value would be entered. So what value I want to enter? I want to enter this value. So I will just write this. So now here in this step, what are we doing? We will rename it. So this step we will say, okay, enter email ID is what we are doing it. So that first step, second step, third step, 3 steps are done. So after this, what is the next step that we want to do?
Enter the password.
Enter password.
Entering password. So how we can enter password in our test case?
Same like add test step.
Same,
The
right click,
password values.
search and add test step, and then search for the module. What is the module name that we want to search?
Like login demo.
Login demo of same name. We can take that, consider it, and we will get this step. Or Or an alternate way again to get the module into
Can
your
we?
test case is just select the module, click on it, and then drag and drop that onto the test case where we need it. So I will just select the module first, drag that module onto my test case. So I'll drop it here. As soon as I drop, you would see that step has been added. So from this step, what do we need?
Can't we
Enter
add
the
both
Enter
in the
password.
email ID and password? No.
Yeah, we can do that, but I'm
First,
showing as per our requirement. I'll
as
try
steps.
to
Okay.
replicate
As we
same
mentioned
way.
in the
Later on,
separate
we will.
step.
Yes, later on we can segregate those things. Okay. So in this, what is our next step that we want to do after entering email ID?
enter the password.
Give the
Enter the
value
password.
for
So
password.
here, from this screen, you just have to go to the password field. So we know the password field is this, and for this field, under the value section, you have to give the password. So what is the password that you want to give? You can give any password that you want. So here I would give the password whatever I want to give. I'll give this password. Right? Once I give the password, we would get this part. So after this, again, you would have to rename this. I'll say this is enter password. So that steps, if you see towards the left, everything would be clear. Step 1 is this, 2, 3, 4. So 4 steps are done. Now what is the next step? Next step is click on login button. How can we click on login button in our test case? How can we click on login button in our test case?
Again, from search, we can create that step.
Search and add test step you can create, and you can search for the module, or the module, we know
Drag
this
and drop.
login button it consists, so we can just select this, drag and drop that onto this part. So here, so we want login button. So here we have this login button, and in the value section, so what do we have to do? Should I just enter some value here in the login button?
No. Click
Click
on
it.
event.
What
Click.
action we would be doing in the page?
Click on should be
Click
selected.
we would do. So here we don't have to enter. This is a wrong step. Here we would remove this. I don't want this. For the button, I want to click. So how to click?
Select the value from the drop
Select from
down.
here, just come here and say click. You can do that. Or if you want to click on the button, you can just say in the value section, you can say X. So X, TOSCA interprets this as for the buttons and the links. TOSCA interpret it as that it wants to do a click operation. So you can directly right click from a click over here, or you can even say X on the button. So saying this, TOSCA would assume, okay, you want to click on login button from the sign-in page. So we have got all this step. After that, what is the next step that we want to do after performing this?
Close the browser.
Close the browser. So closing of browser or the tabs, what do you think? Is it application specific or generic? What do you think it would be?
It's a generic.
It's a generic, because closing of browser you might need when you are testing google.com application or Facebook application or any application that you would want, you would require closing of that. So some actions or operations, whatever you think is a generic, you don't have to scan that as a module. You don't have to right click, select scan application and go to that and then select this closing of this thing. We won't be doing that. So for that, what TOSCA would allow us is it has some inbuilt methods, inbuilt things where you can close it. So if you want to close that, just same step, go to the test case, add search and add test step, and we have to search for a module which will help us to close the browser. So we have a module for that, which is close. You just search for close browser, and then this module will help us to close any browser that we want. And what we have to specify if we want to close a browser or this particular part, here we just have to specify what is the title. So what is the title of our page if we want to close this?
Demo webshop.
Demo webshop dot login is the title. And if we just google.com if we are doing it. So what is the title if we want to close this?
Google only.
Google is the title. You see on this page, whatever you see here, so this is the title. So that title, if we just specify here, let's say I'll just give Google. When I would give this Google here and say this, and if I would right click and run, now you see on the page it should close. Did it closed?
Yes.
Yes.
TOSCA is successfully green color you have got, and in the browser now if you would see there is no google.com. It has been successfully closed by our step whatever we have written. So here which thing whatever you want to close, you just give that title. Here I want to close demo webshop dot login, or I will say demo star, meaning I want a title on the page which starts with demo. So here there is only one title which starts with demo and then anything, so I will just take that. I don't want to write everything. So if you would write everything, make sure you are writing everything exactly the same way. So if everything is correct, then only TOSCA would try to interact with that and do the operation. So if you have not given correct things, then TOSCA would say failed or something might be incorrect. So with this, we are now successfully able to automate all the steps, whatever manually we tested initially, the same as part of our TOSCA automation is what we have created all this step. And now if we want to see if this thing is happening on the browser or not, I will just go to this. If I want to execute all of this, I will select the test case, all the steps. If I want to execute, I will select the test case, right click on the test case and say run as scratchbook. When I say run as scratchbook, TOSCA would execute all the steps of that test case. And the first step is opening browser, launching this, clicking on login link, it is doing, you see, and then after entering credentials, and after that it has even closed. And green color, you have got this. So all the steps, whatever you have written, everything is done. It has started at this time, duration total it has taken, for each step it has taken this time, and then total duration within 8 seconds it has just done this. So this is how you would be quickly able to automate. So now we are able to successfully automate the given application, the steps whatever we want to, right? And did we code anything to automate this? Did we do any coding? Did we script anything here? Coding part have we written to automate the login application of this thing? No coding, right? So that's where here uh, we would say TOSCA is codeless automation tool, and it's very easy to use. You just have to drag and drop, you create modules, drag and drop that into your test case, and there you go. Just give the values wherever you would want whatever things, and that's it, the actions that you want to perform. So just specify here. Normally even you or someone who is from non-IT background, or someone who is not having automation knowledge, like even the BAs or some other people, even those people can automate any website, anything, any application if they would do it in this way. So it is that easy to understand and do it. So again, few things right now at the very first day you won't be able to understand everything, but step by step as we progress further in our session, once we complete this free demos, so there I would be explaining you in a step by step way. Okay, so any questions, doubts on this?
Hello. Hi, guys, Abhijit this side.
Yes, hi.
So I seen the course structure. There is a mention like distribution execution as well.
Right.
So that is like integration part you will be covering, or like how it is.
So in this I would be explaining about this decks, how we generally use in real time. We would be just showing what as a tester we would be doing or interacting, how we can execute the test cases. So what is the process that is involved in this distributed execution, that I would be explaining.
Because mostly at the time of interview or anything, like they wanted like integration part as well with the decks. So decks is
Yeah, so
important.
here I would be giving whatever required information, the knowledge one would need to have. keeping in mind from the interview perspective, or what someone is assessing you, and then if they want to check if you have knowledge on this part or not. So that thing, keeping that in my mind, I would just try to give the information as per that, and you should be able to answer any questions that would come.
Okay, thanks.
Any further questions from anyone? Or is it clear whatever I tried to explain? Was it understandable? Anything that we do here or in TOSCA?
Yeah, it's clear for me. Right.
How about others? Is it clear?
Yes, it's clear.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, then which version of TOSCA we need to install? So that I'll share that details. So our admin team, those they would be sharing. So you can uh, to uh, reach out to our admin team, and they would be, so once you enroll to the course, all that details, the further details, the downloadable file, the installation, the license, everything that we are going to cover. So you can reach out to our admin team and get those things from them. So in next session, I would be showing you so how we can download or install Tosca into your machine, and then the licensing part, how you would do that, or even other things, how you would manually, so even manual testing in Tosca, how you can do that, that as well. I would be explaining you in tomorrow's session. With this, we are done with today's session. If no further doubts or queries, any questions, then we are good to close today's session. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.